Okay, welcome to Ali Goldsmith's Relationship Flow. We are here, and the truth is, my wife is not here. She went on a special girls' day night out. I'm very happy for her, so we won't be having her on the podcast. I feel confident though to give a little flow today, behaving myself as a husband. It's a big deal, when you have gone through a war for a year and a half. Your son, oldest son, has been serving on the front lines, and thank God, Baruch Hashem, with Shmir Alyona, heavenly protection, he got through the year and a half. His unit, unfortunately, have been called back. It seems like back towards Gaza, and as things escalate a little bit here again, unfortunately, with the Houthis and their missiles, and keeping the border safe and everything else. So we were, obviously concerned, but Baruch Yitzhak, our oldest son, Ben Mashe, should be healthy and well, is, thank God, doing a special course. And he is, for now, for the next few months, not serving on the front lines. So it gives us a little bit of peace and quiet to be able to sort of heal, restore our spirits, and therefore organize things like sending my wife and daughters to a nice place in Tel Aviv, and next week, please God, heading off to UK. So that will just give us a bit of, healing. And we've had some very healing moments together with my son, as mentioned, I think, in the previous episode. We went to London and Kerastir, and he's healing and doing well from everything he went through. And as a family, we are healing in our new home in a frat, drinking some tea, keeping a good balanced flow, which is a big part of the relationship flow. We've talked about regrouping. We've had a lot of concepts over the years. I had a little bit of pause just because I really need to just actually live and do the relationship flow in real time. Things like going to IKEA. I survived it, thank God. I know that sounds small, but for me, going to IKEA is a little bit suffering. Like I can't compare it to what the soldiers going through on the borders or in Gaza, or but for a husband, I don't know if anyone relates, but I actually did get quite a lot of feedback when I posted it on my status. I survived IKEA. And the truth is, all we came out with was a bunch of light bulbs, a cheap bottle of wine, and a few snacks. So I actually did really well on the expenditure side. So we have to thank Hashem for that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the time period where we really need to be there and heal and regroup. And that means doing things, especially on the wifey side, Shalom Bayis side. It means going to things that maybe you wouldn't really want to do, or sending your wife somewhere you wouldn't really want to go, like the beach many times already, and just using the opportunity of not having a son on the front lines and being able to, please God, have the ability to be able to go to all these places. And we thank Hashem for that. It's so important just to heal after, we had a busy Purim, Pesach, and it's been a busy Service Omer as well. Thank God, me personally, I'm working hard in my projects, and my wife, thank God, is expanding her exercise classes and reach in the new studio. Hopefully the pool will be opening, and that for me would be important. Swimming pool after we get back from London and after Lag Boma. Thank God I got a nice event there, the One Flame Festival, and there's lots of good things going on. And the swimming pool would just personally give me the outlet I've been needing, because I have felt recently a bit of a build-up of frustration. And I think it's not just from the work side of things, because obviously the world being a bit more unstable and the booking side hasn't been as plentiful as in the past, even though it is still going forward. Like I'm going to Düsseldorf soon with Nis and Black, other things going on all the time. I booked Levi Miller for this One Flame Festival, the first booking together, even though we've been in discussion, trying to help someone. We went, unfortunately, to a Shiva house, help them with the son of the family, with some sort of publishing help with his songwriting, connected him to some people. And that was actually the last conversation I had with his father in person before hearing that he'd passed away. So it gives me a little bit of a push to do that, to get involved with that family member. Unfortunately, we should only have simchas. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to work on. And if I would focus it into points for people to take away, something to get from this relationship flow, is there needs to be a lot of healing right now. starting to work with an artist called Lady Robbins. He's got a song called Healing is Coming, and just had a meeting with a guy called David Fishoff, and he's doing Rock and Hill, which is basically 10 survivors from the October the 7th on the border there musicians were taken to a rock camp, and they're creating a documentary called Rock and Hill, and that's all about healing. So I had a meeting with him. You see that healing is the key word, and Ani Hashem Rafecha, this is the Chodesh Iyar of healing, and Service of Hashem is a time where we work on an inner world. And after having a discussion with Shemaim this last week, I gave a safer book of John Sarno, Dr. John Sarno, called Divided Minds, I think. And he's got the Healing Back Pains one, which we had in the past. And those books really changed our life in the holistic approach to healing. Done Kol Adam L'Chavzchut. You have to look at the whole person. And that's really the key to really heal in how you treat your relationships with people, treat yourself, and to come to a more balanced place after, this is Tiferes, this is the third week of Service Omer, Malchus Shabbat Tiferes, we're coming to more balance. So it's very appropriate that my wife and daughters are off to the beach in Tel Aviv for the night, and I get to be here and just to internalize and work on my own side of balancing out. And that's part of the Avodah of Service Omer, and coming to a good relationship flow, and to realizing that we all have needs that need to be focused on and developed. And I want to thank Hashem for giving me the ability to have the insight to bring down the United Souls, this book I've been writing. It's a very good outlet for me, and to appreciate that, with the world, when I look at what's going on online after a beautiful Shabbos in a frat with Shir David, and having the merit the week before to be by Shlomo Katz, and then this week having guests, beautiful family, and just having the beautiful weather and the air, and the Yom Ha'atzmaut was a beautiful day with a family, and the music and the energy and just the positivity, even though there's sirens, even in the morning on Shabbos day, waking us up in the morning, and then hearing about what happened to Ben Gurion this morning. And there's all the constant, the alarms and potential triggers, but at the same time, being able to keep that balance, keep that focus, keep that healing energy, and not let any of the noise around the supposed instability that the world wants to make a big noise out of, that really deep down there's a tremendous harmony, a tremendous tranquility within. Once again, it's always going more inside. That's United Souls, that's relationship flow, the intimacy between a husband and wife being the key place to be able to shut off the world and just to join together in the most intimate way, with no sound, no noise, no anything. And part of the trip to England is for us to one, obviously connect to family there, because they haven't seen my wife, many of them, since the war began and before that. So it's been a few years since she's been there, but also to be able to give her a bit of holiday and take her to a music event of some of our favorite artists who just generate a lot of positivity, and then make it back for Omer, please God, and to be able to spend that special night here in a frat and support the event up north by Meron and Svat, by the One Flame Festival. Being able to do positive things, keeping that balance, that is the key to get to this climax of Shavuos, when you've done all the inner work. So then we're a vessel to receive the Torah. And if a person is healed within, then the Torah has a kiyum, the Torah has eternity. But a person is given that challenge, as we've been learning in Tanya in our Unity Flow podcast, and also looking to Maran, the idea of building the vessel here takes us, a lot of inner work, a lot of introspection, and inner development of Amunah, and really understanding the depths of what Hasidus is trying to bring us to, and of the Vekas to Hashem, to the oneness, the unity that brings everything together. And that's part of the Pneumius of a Shalom Bayis, to realize that you're the yichud, the unification of a husband and wife, like it says, Pastor Zriya, the Kedushas Levi, the awakening from below, the Mayim Nukvim, the feminine waters, awakening the waters above, the Mayim Zukvin, and bringing a yichud with the Yud Kei Vav Kei, all these Pneumius Kabbalistic concepts of bringing the Shem Havaya and bringing it out more and more, and building that Dira Tachtona, building that dwelling for Hashem. This is part of what, the Balatanya was talking about, and what we can do in this generation. The Rebbe was pushing, the Babich Rebbe was pushing Eishes Geva and the Der Tachtona, and the idea that the Malchus would have an Aliyah, and the feminine aspects would have an elevation, and it would get stronger, and we have to be there to support it. and strengthen ourselves. One of the things I'm always trying to work out, like, what is the cover picture? Do I put the IKEA thing? Do I put, I got a picture of a friend of mine, Tom, who unfortunately passed away, and it was a big loss for our community. He was working on this beautiful picture from October 7th, which is right in front of me here now in my office. Thank God I have an office now, and I have the right place to be able to work and do my avodah, and having the boys all at home this Shabbos, the whole family, be able to celebrate Shabbos together as a full family. And thank God, we have to appreciate there's so much good within all the supposed chaos. There's so much good going on, and all the people who, God forbid, lost people and suffering. There was so much time, especially during these last few weeks, to really internalize and really work on it. And I'm sitting with Rabbi Leo D, and I got a lot of inspiration from being with him. And I'm actually going to send him a message after this. That Rabbi Leo D said to me that he doesn't dwell on the past; he's always looking into the future. That's something which we need to really work on and get more attached to the Orosh Mashiach, all the Asad, the future light that's coming, the Ribi or the Rochoiza, this all that's returning and bringing constantly inspiration for now, and not going back into the terrible things that have gone on. He can speak with what happened to his wife and his daughters, and yet he's able to go forward and build and build and build. And he's an example of this, and it's amazing. And he told me a story of someone who was on the plane. You meet people who seem to be like on the left side of history. Their whole system. The husband's a teacher in the University of History on the left side. Everything's working on the left side. And yet this woman was going on and on to Rabbi Leudi on the plane with her left sort of understandings against Israel and genocide and all this stuff. And then when he told his story, she started crying, and she suddenly opened up and said that her son has an interest in Torah, and then when he comes to Israel, she wants him to come eat by Rabbi Leudi, and that she herself, deep down, really has a soul. And this is what I said to Rabbi Leudi, the inner reality is that she's connected, and that's why it's manifesting in her child. And that's the real truth of the continuation of Am Yisrael, that even if right now there seems to be like these self-hating Jews or people that, it's a painful sugya, and I talk about it with my wife, and we have deep discussions. And when we go to England, we know we're going to have to face some of that, the people who don't understand the situation of Am Yisrael and the truth of the eternity of our people, and the need to protect ourselves from all the lies from our enemies. And obviously we have to work on ourselves as well. That's part of the journey of Tikkun Medina that we'll be learning of Shlomo Katz. We all have to work on ourselves. We'll be talking this through. As a people, we have to improve, but at the same time, that inner improvement does not mean the outer enemy is patur. We have to make sure we protect ourselves and do what we can to get the truth out there. And that's something which is very clear in our home. And I feel like it's been strengthened moving here to Efrat and having a son on the front lines, and all the inner journey we were doing, all the discussions, and every Shabbos working through our own journey and the Chassidish and the Haredi and the Baal Tshuva and the whole thing we've been doing, and moving now to more like Dati, Mizrahi, however you want to call it, all the labels, but the inner journey of getting more close to the inner light of Am Yisrael that's true to everyone, the light of Rav Kook, who's bringing the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, and the light of Rebbe Nachman, and the light of Baal Tanya, and the light of the Tzaddikim, and bringing that into our home and discussing it and having beautiful, uplifting Shabbos and connecting to people in real ways. And then having the Emunah and the B'toch and the strength of Emunah based on the teachings of Chabad, and believing that we can elevate everything. That the AI technological world that's coming ahead is not something to pull us down, or what we're seeing, or with all the different streaming apps, and being able to use it to bring more shalom bayis, to regroup. We watched the film the last few days. It took us a few days because we're quite disciplined in making sure we get to sleep. So it was a long one. It was called As Good as It Gets with Jack Nicholson, and so we're watching that together, my wife and I, and we're seeing that there's so much talent, so much ability in the world out there that we need to restore to our people, and to have the ability to have real relationships. You can learn from these deeper movies that were back in the day, not a lot of the garbage and the fast moving garbage nowadays, but where people actually were people, and like Jack Nicholson and his High Madrig, and the other actors and other people there who could talk in a real way, in a deep way, and you feel what they're saying, and it's a real connection point of humans that's being demonstrated through the movie. And this is something which we have the power, when we're talking about on Shabbos, elevating, the Star Wars story to a mission to find the Force and to have a bigger mission in life and believe in our mission. And we're talking about, the Lord of the Rings, that even the seemingly the lowest level person, the Hobbit, could be the one to save the world. And there'll always be these kind of shlichim, these agents like Gandalf, aka Moshe Rabbeinu, in our reality, like the rabbi, the tzaddik, teaching us, guiding us to be able to deal with with all these forces out there, the dark force and the forces of the rings. And we have the ability to transform everything, and it's really in our inner treasure trove to believe in that reality. And realize when you have a spouse husband, wife, and you can talk about these things in deep ways, and you can come to a place where you still have the inner strength. And even if you're feeling a bit low on yourself and down, you can be real and safe to talk about it. And, so the business isn't going as well, but your wife, she believes in you. She believes in you to be able to succeed, and it gives you strength to keep trying every day and to keep investing in the family and knowing that Hashem is always going to help us achieve what we need to do. And we're not relying on any people or anything. We have the ability as a unit, as a family, to be able to shine that light to the world. And as we said at Shabbos, the family is a moshel. It's a story of the nimshal, of the deepest yichud that happens between Am Yisrael and Hashem. And that's the unification, the unity flow that we've been talking about in all our podcasts. And relationship flow is a demonstration where that is most concrete and most real. And it brings it alive in our home, in our heart, in how we speak, how we think, how we act, and that this is the inner truth of our people. And so, just to end off as a bit of an extra one, and I really hope my wife will join me on my next relationship flow, and maybe while we're in UK I can get her there, or some good moment. But the main thing is that this is us together talking. Even if you're hearing my approach, on the more woman side, you'll hear the more emotional experience of what I'm discussing, and that's very important. But I wanted to just explain a lot of concepts, and we have to really keep strong and believe that with all the seemingly forces out there against us, we have the ability to overcome it all, and we will succeed. And to believe it in the deepest way, the victory, Netzach, is the sphere that we're counting tonight, to believe in our victory as a people and as a nation and as a family. And Be'ez Hashem, we should be Zoka to share many more relationship flows, and we'll post this together with United Souls flow as well, together with all the latest extracts that we're writing, keeping ourselves in that mindset of soul and flow. And Be'ez Hashem, we'll see how you can share your relationship flow. Thank you for listening, and only good news.